So another type of mulch would be weeds. Now, getting to know your weeds could be very nutritious for you. A weed is really only an unwanted plant. And so many of the garden weeds that you would consider something that you think that you don't want are actually highly nutritious. Oftentimes more nutritious than the annuals that we grow because they thrive. I mean, they come up year after year, they keep growing. They have adapted to be very resilient, and in that they can provide great nutrition. Dandelions, chickweed, purslane, burdock. I said plantain already. I can't remember. Anyways, lots of them are highly nutritious. Now up here at the Shoe Shop Community Teaching Garden, we don't actually seem to have a lot of the weeds that we may want, the unwanted plants. Actually, we have more unwanted plants than we have wanted plants. This one, for instance, I don't know what this is. We have many that I don't know what they all are, but we do have some chickweed, and occasionally we have some plantain. But they themselves, I mean, when they're small like this, simply just uprooting them and putting them on the soil will put their nutrition right back into the soil. A good quality hoe, weeder, any of those kinds of tools that can simply just go through and scrape through your soil to uproot them and allow them to then just decompose on the soil can be a great mulch. If you have gotten to a point where a lot of your plants are a lot bigger, maybe some tall grasses before they've gone to seed, any of the, even dandelions, lots of the really big leafy weeds, a really good pair of shears, I would suggest a present to yourself is to invest in some shears. You can get them at Buckerfield's or Nico's, Home Hardware, and use those to just simply chop up all of your weeds and then just drop them on your soil. It's chop and drop. They act as a nutrient, moisture control, weed suppressant, but before they go to seed. You don't want them to do that. So it really depends on how neat and tidy you want everything to be. At first it may look messy, but in one day they will have wilted so much that it's just like a very fine scattering it will look like, and they'll add nutrition. Beware your weeds. Some of them will reroot. If you just let their roots stay on the ground, it could reroot itself. So you may want to, some of these bigger ones, you can just flip them upside down. So again, it really depends on what you like. If you don't want to see that, then you may put it in a compost pile and it will become compost, and that's great too. Chopping it up really fine will minimize sort of that big chunky look, but like I said, tomorrow that will barely even be noticeable. Things like quackgrass, that's the weed. That's going to be a challenge. That's another video for another day when we talk about how to eradicate. You'll never eradicate it, but how to try and manage quackgrass. So yeah, weeds are an excellent mulch. Throw them into a big bucket of water and let them sit for a few days and create your own compost tea to water back into your soil. They are highly nutritious. They are resilient and adaptable. Exactly kind of what we need to be too. So leaves, grass, wood chips, weeds, and we can talk about straw next too.